You are now listening to the Music Lifestyle Culture Podcast.
Yo, my peoples, we're back. Welcome to another episode of the Music Lifestyle and Culture Podcast. We're back.
What's happening? How are you?
I'm good. My birthday week.
I know, because I see you turning up before that six
No,
rule thing coming.
basically.
Give me no invite,
No.
Hey,
Oh,
people, I couldn't believe it. I saw it on the socials.
What did you see, man?
I see the state of the bus. And there was no invite. So I'm thinking, it's in my head, I was like, this has to be someone else's thing.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be Esther's, but it was Esther's thing, and I had not even an invitation, people.
Okay, so there's a reason for that though, Bouncer. Because what it is Bouncer gets like 5,000 messages. So when when Boris said what he said,
who?
Remember
Boris,
my birthday's this week, and I was going to just do a little gathering this week. So when Boris said what he says, my friends were like, no, that's not happening. So they arranged this party in 48 hours. So I was like,
what about me?
Hang on, wait. So I said, all right, cool. So what it is, because you get 5,000 messages, you didn't even see when I sent you the message about the party, Bouncer. Did
you message me?
Yeah. Look in your phone. But because you get so much, you missed it.
Oh, my days.
Do you remember? You did see it.
I didn't see it.
I'll send it to you. I said, you was invited. I'd never have a party not invite you back to ever. How would I do that? You're my business partner. I'd never do that to you, man.
Oh, my God. I saw litness and it was your birthday.
It was a good night. It was a good night. It was really good. Happy
birthday for this Sunday, anyway.
Thank you very much. As I said when I came...
I'm going to get you a new wig and a cake.
You know what? You can have that one. I'm going to let you have that one. A new wig and a cake. I do need a cake, though. I actually do need a cake. But when I came in downstairs today, that's what I was saying, that I didn't see no gift bags or anything. So, did you send the money in the post?
The popcorn.
No popcorn.
You like that popcorn?
I don't want last week's popcorn as a present. Don't take the piss, Bouncer. So this week, I'll collect my present on Friday.
I got you.
Thanks.
I got you.
Anyway, what about you?
Today, it was blessed. I went on the Represents radio station.
Yeah, with George.
Yeah. It was dope. Yeah, man. It was dope. I was on there for half an hour. I got used to it though. Like, I'm doing podcasts, so I was kind of...
So basically, you thought it was your show.
Yeah.
Poor girl. Jules, don't worry, I get it every week, so I get it. You tried to take over, I know.
You're right.
I know. Totally.
So yeah, man. This episode today, I think is mad, like special for me as growing up as a youth and as a younger and like, even from 12, 13, 14 upwards, you get me? And the guest, obviously, I've got on today is Jaja Soze, you get me? And this brother, like, me saying this, it's not even like this. This is what you call history, like, history. I remember when I was 14, 15, 16, around that time. And I remember my girlfriend used to work for Jaja Soze. And I swear to you, even when I was young and listening to, like, when you're listening to music, these lot are putting out, they're selling CDs. They were doing this music thing. I remember even when Jaja was like, yeah, I got Black Card, I got this, and he'll show me, and I'm young. I just want to be on the roads. Like, I don't bother me, but I see him doing some mad, like, that, thinking back then, I did take it serious. I just like, he's doing this, but what's he doing? Like, you get me? But he saw the vision from early, so he hasn't even spoke. But welcome.
I think as well, for me as a female, like when I was growing up and watching, I was more like, this guy like sells music. Yeah, he's a rude boy as well. Do you know what I mean? So
rude boy.
For me, it was a magnitude of things. It was like the whole little package. You know, when you're growing up and you're younger and you like that street mentality and what have you. But the fact that you had this music movement that outweighed everything.
Yeah, it was serious. I think at those times, like in the end of the 90s, people it was more. I was seen as like, he wasn't seen as like rappers. Them times, like, it's like he's a rude boy or he's a road man that raps. It wasn't really rappers. Like, it wasn't like, they're rappers. It was like, that's them, man. But they can rap. That's what, and we kind of always. I think that was also that went against us in a way as well, because it was like they're road men. They're not really rappers. They're road. They can rap and they can rap good. Some of them their whole thing's dope, but here what they're road guys.
Yeah,
and that's always what it was. That more stuck with us and PDC in general, especially me. There's like, hey, yeah, we know Jaj is like road, but he's not really. He's just a rapper, but he's a road guy.
But you know what? How I saw it as well, because you had like PDC, you had like road youths, whatever, but then you had PDC, like the music movement.
The music movement,
and
that's
you
right.
made it more into a business.
Yes.
Like, so the whole movement, it made it, the music, the brand, everything around it, made it even bigger. Like, you put a lot of positivity, like music, like positive, don't matter what's happening, do you know what I mean? So I respected that.
There was a time on the road, because, you know, it was, when we first started doing it, and there was a lot of, the man was still on road and doing certain things, and I saw the vision, you get me? Them times our kind of inspiration was like in America, Dame Dash and all them kind of people doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I always kind of looked at that model of what they was doing, and I was like, okay, how can we emulate that over here? And I was just trying, but at the time there wasn't really no one to kind of like, to go kind of get like any mentoring from or nothing, like, so it was like, raw, I was peak. So I was just like reading and looking at stuff, and remember those days there's no YouTube, so it was like, wow, I was kind of like looking at magazines and looking at things and trying to see what can take or information. It was mad. And I think at the time SAS was like
Eurogang.
They were doing Eurogang. They was over there and they was doing their stuff in America, and I just had no links. I'm straight from road. I don't know nothing at all. I got that. I don't know no A&Rs. I didn't even know what A&R was at the time.
Literally.
I didn't even know that you had to go and see an A&R. I didn't know what that was. We just about had access to studios. Like, I didn't know what, I was literally learning the whole game, and literally there was when I was opening the door, people's coming in behind me. So literally I was opening the doors. There was no door. I was opening and leaving it open, because there was nothing going on at that time. There was like, especially young black guys at the time, they was not in the industry, in the business side of it.
Yeah.
There was, you go into a building, it's just like old middle class white men and women that and they just didn't understand us. So I was just like one man army.
You put army behind you,
That's it.
And I saw it. I like, me as a kid, I didn't pre it like that, but I saw it. I saw the CDs and also SMS as well.
Yeah.
The CDs, like, so I saw, and then was it when it came to the DVDs?
Yeah.
The DVDs, that was what had us going. That I was in.
Used to shot them from the car, innit?
Yeah, the DVD was on. Yeah, literally, I think we was on like any DVD that came out that was of some substance. We was on it. Like, guaranteed, you'll see people saying like, "Well, PDC on it. I don't even want it if PDC on it." That was real.
Yeah.
That's what people saying. Like SMS, PDC, like North stuff. The main Mash Town. If the main people wasn't on it, we're not buying that DVD. And that was like, it was real. Like, man would dash your DVD back at you like, Rod, the man them ain't on that. Dash that back. And that was real. That's how it was. And we was on like all the covers, was selling out in all the record shops. And yeah, it was mad. No, we was the first, I think it was in 2004 or 5, then the police actually raided the record shops for our CD and DVDs. And they said to them, you can't sell
this. They tried to stop them
never
from
forget that crushed us. You know how much money I lost for that? They crushed us. They raided the shops. They raided the record shops. They went to them and said, yeah, PDC stock, we want all of it.
Because you was a one-man army, printed everything, paid for everything, and then that was it. They just crushed it.
They wounded us, like they wounded my pocket. Like, I took a blow. Remember at them times as well, remember, people forget, see like videos now, like see they're going up a bit more now, but see like you can get video for like £200 and all that. Them days, are you mad? Videos like 10 bags, standard. That's for budget video. Budget video those times, like 10 bags, like a budget one.
Crazy.
Budget. In America, them man was spending like £500,000 on videos and all that. It was mad. And over here, you had like the pop bands. There was like a lot of pop bands and stuff like that. They was like, their budgets for videos was crazy.
Crazy budgets.
You go to them days, if you went to a record label and said, yeah, I want to do a video, you got $5,000, they'd be like, what? Like, you're a joke, man. They not even entertaining that.
That's crazy.
It was a whole different ball game. Like, there was no man with a camera, just one random man. When you get a video done those days, you got a whole video set, like the lighting and everything. It was all mad.
And there was no such thing as Spotify, Apple Music.
None of that.
So how was, obviously there was there wasn't even 3210s then.
No,
So
what
like,
phone
how was
It was the big. Wasn't it the one?
No, it was it was 3210s. What phone was it again? I can't remember.
It was the one you could play Tetris on. The
Yeah, I think it was those
Is
ones.
it-
No,
it's the one you could play
I swear.
Tetris on.
82?
I'll tell you now.
No.
Let me Google it.
Well-
I'll tell you. It was a little one, but carry on.
Yeah, the phone. Yeah, we was doing stuff, but it wasn't via phones. And I think
How was you getting your music
It was
out?
it was in person. You had to go and literally bring your music to the people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like literally, it was just direct distribution. It was like straight to the person. Like, so people send it out of cars, out of vans, record shops, outside clubs. Yeah, I had one guy that was working for me at the time. He was outside all the shows, shot in CDs. It was mad. Like, and we was making sometimes. After the show, he would come back to me with a grand and say, "Oh, Judge, I got a grand." I'm like,
Wow.
"Yeah, cool." And then that's how it was. And make a
grand.
grand. Yeah, those days, and then Mike GOC had his team out there shotting as well in West End most time.
Yeah,
Because remember,
yeah.
if you had a
Yeah.
street, everyone had a street
Yeah,
team
so-
then with the flyers and the.
So you'll see like SAS probably street team, Mike GOC, and you'll see a couple others. I'm saying to you that there's a couple people that was on point that was
Yeah.
had street teams. And saying to
Yeah,
you, and then you
yeah.
see a couple of the roadman them. Anytime you see roadman selling CDs, you know that was our man them, like because we
Yeah.
just had the man them selling CDs. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it wasn't like we didn't have no work. It was just man them.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
see,
yeah.
man was like, raw, them man are shotting CDs and that. And we had to be, at the time, not gonna lie, we had to be a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, there was
Lean
a time.
on the DJs,
yeah,
play
it was-
man's things.
Yeah, like, a lot of DJs don't like me now.
Yeah.
Like loads of them.
He's,
Sorry,
he's
DJ.
changed people. That was then.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
DJs, I'm just being real, because like at that time we was turning up to big shows and I was jumping over the DJ booths and like, yeah,
Straight.
I'm saying like, raw, yo, play my music. Are you mad? And it's like, oh, Jaja, what's that? And I'm saying, play the tunes. I'm saying, okay, what radio station you on? They're like, radio. I'm saying, give me a number. I'm coming to Linky tomorrow. You get me? Make sure the tunes getting played.
Straight.
And
Straight.
we had to have that approach. There was no, like, I didn't know about what's it called, radio plugger.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was.
Wow.
I didn't know
Yeah.
radio plugger. I didn't know you had to go through certain avenues. So I'm just saying he's like, DJ, come here, and I'm just, all I knew at the time was that's the way I articulate myself and away from the road. So I didn't know about you have to go for a certain, because no one didn't tell me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I was just going to a man normal, like, yo, play my tune. And
Yeah.
they're telling me, oh, no, you got to go to this person. I'm saying, why? I didn't understand that. So
Yeah.
I was a bit aggressive, get me? Because it's new to me and I got no patience.
Yeah,
Like, what do you mean I got to go through radio plugger and that? Who's radio plugger? I was baffled. Then they're saying then when I'm saying to them, what's radio plugger? They're saying you got paid them. I'm saying, how much? They're saying like, oh, $2,000 or something. What? Are you mad?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
big
So
money.
it was all mad. Yeah, so I was
Big
like,
money.
nah. So there's a lot of, there's a lot of problems we had.
Leaning. Yeah.
A lot of people, I've had to see them outside clubs and venues and kind of lean on them and bad them up a little bit, get me? So I had so I'm saying to you, we had
So
like little disputes with a couple of the top DJs.
And you see at that era, you was doing like basically like rap, like gangster rap. But what was in it? Was it like it was garage that was garage that was
at
in,
the same time, So Solid was mashing the place up.
Mashing
Like
up
So
the
Solid
place.
had it on, Mega was on like smash. I'm saying to you,
Yeah.
so when just at the time when garage was popping, I was doing events. So I was
Okay.
doing events, so I was like booking Mega Man, Wiley. Wiley done one post one time and was saying, "Rod, big up Jaja because he helped me one time." Yeah, so I was booking everyone, and I was paying man as well. I was paying the MCs. Yeah.
Sick.
This is all like
Upside
2001.
Nucino. Yeah, this is early. This is like 2000.
Was it before 21 seconds was 2001?
Yeah, this was 2001. This was on 2000. Yeah,
Okay.
2000.
Okay.
And this 99 2000. Mega Man had a office, and him and Harvey, and I used to see Leisha down there. There was in Wandsworth near the shopping centre. They had a little office down there. I used to go there and chat to Mega. Mega's another one. He was on it early. Early. Mega wasn't playing like there was only a few that was like kind of going down that road road.
Yeah.
That was road guys. That was like it was, and people were saying, "What them man on? Them man not supposed to be doing that. Like them are road guys. We don't
Even
do that."
when I was younger and I heard Mega Man, obviously we knew Mega Man like So Solid, but as a businessman, we like in my head, I was like, yeah, he's one of the front, he's one of the main men, like as a businessman.
Yes.
For everybody that's trying to.
When I was on the street and I was trying to tell the man, them like, well, we need to do this and I'm trying to do that, and enough people didn't understand. I was way ahead of my time, so I was saying, look, we need to do this and we need to open up the business bank account. We need to set up a company, and they was like, what? This guy's judge, man.
And I see that. I saw you showed me your card.
Yeah.
I was like 15. He showed it to me like this bank. I got this, and this.
I had all the stuff, and that's saying that at that time I remember when I saw So Solid. This was before I went to prison the second time. I saw Mega Man was on when they So Solid thing kind of popped off and they was on the screen. I was saying to man, that's what we're supposed to be doing. This is the angle, like that's what we need to do. But people still didn't. It was still like it was untouchable, like the dream that that's not. But really, look
at the struggles.
That's what I'm saying.
Look where you look. Like you lot are just the first, like one of the first to start this. So look at the struggles. There's no. Remember, look at our scene now and look out. There was no scene then. Really, there was a scene, but it was like 5%.
It was little. The scene was small. Like the whole scene, like there was a lot of people. You had, and then it was hard. There was at that time there was a grind just to get a link. Yeah, the label, even labels was literally non-existent. That link was mad. Yeah. I'm saying to you, I don't know how Mega done it. Mega's a G for that time. He's a G. That's why everyone from the road at that time that was doing stuff that we was doing, they have to rate Mega. Yeah, because for him to do that time, people don't understand the struggle at that time to get links or deals like that. Or that was a madness. So he done good. Then the other ones on the road that we was probably Mega kind of came off a bit more early than off the road than me. I was still kind of on the road though. So man had still shotting going on. Little odd robberies. And man was still in the game a little bit. Man had still madnesses. I'm saying to you, man running down, man. And also still certain madnesses. The man was still pill them crew and active. I'm saying to you. So there was like little problems, but it was that season. It was a weird.
Would you say that you was, because for me, what I find, for example, I think it was about 2004. Like you had the whole SAS Euro gang thing. And they did the whole, like they did a video with Styles P in the ghetto, etc. But would you say that that's about, you didn't have links and stuff, but would you say that, was there a time back then in the scene where it was about people seeing what you were doing? Because you lot were doing a lot. So like Jim Jones, Dame Dash, they saw what SAS was doing and Cam, but you lot were doing a lot as well.
So even SS, they done some dope video shoot one time and they invited us down, like they was inviting us, people was inviting us places. And then there was one incident that happened when we came out. We all came out of prison. I think it was 2002. They had like a music conference in South Bank, a big music conference. And we went there. I think it was PDC, SMS. We went there, like this one whole squad. It was around 40, 50 man.
50 man, wow.
Could you imagine the people's faces?
And remember, no one was used to that. Yeah. So when we went there, we all just come out fresh out of jail. Man's muscled off. Everyone was nuts. It's nuts. We just all went there. We didn't go there with a plan. I just heard there's a music conference and there's some Americans there, some industry people there. I didn't know. I just went there and then we went there and we went in. There was a room and there was conferences going on and we went in the room and they were supposed to have tickets and we just walked in the door. Like they saying to me, ticket. I'm saying, what ticket? Man, man's coming to like move. Yeah. But I didn't know yet. But the attitude wasn't. It was. Yeah. I'm not even. It wasn't even like. It was just. I just thought this man just coming in there. Like what are you talking about? And the scene. I didn't know who I was kind of like brushing past and I didn't know. And then afterwards, it was the big names from the labels and that they was all there. So obviously they're like, nah, PDC later. Nah, they can't. These people are savage. So that's kind of when we kind of started getting blacklisted from those times when they were saying, nah, these guys are too serious. They're causing too much problems. And like when we're going to places, the man them are like robbing man's Rolexes and robbing the artists' chains and all that. You know, the artists are kind of like
bag, put your phone in the bag.
It was kind of I'm saying to you, Temp Man was on a wild man. I'm saying to you, there's a lot of the younger ones that was around me was on a wild one. They just young and they just feeling untouchable. And there's a lot of problems that we cause on our side as well, not knowing how to operate and
as a
carry
business.
yourself as a business. But we was rolled and we had no mentor. We had no manager or nothing. So no one was there to kind of like guide. And that's where we kind of made some major mistakes in the scene coming up. I'm saying to you.
Yeah, man.
I think you do have to kind of, everything that you've said is part of making who people are.
Yeah, man.
Where they are. Do you get what I'm saying? Where
they had to go through that for us to get
to where we are. Exactly.
Yeah, we just paved a whole new. I remember going to the when I did get a chance to go to the A&Rs. I remember I sat down with like Ben Scar and what's the name from
Ben Scar, big up Ben Scar, man. That's Dave's manager right now. So
I went to like loads of the A&Rs. I went to Twin. I went to loads of people and before even Jewel came out, And I said to them, there's a new scene coming. They was like, we don't understand. We don't know like what's going on. They didn't understand it. I was showing them artists like this artist really didn't understand. They was like, And then years later, those artists are the ones popping now. Yeah, it's mad. And I say to you, and I went to them from early, and I said, this is the scene that's coming now. There's a new scene coming. Yeah. And they didn't get it. A lot of A&Rs and labels didn't get the scene. They didn't understand it. They didn't understand what was going on. They didn't understand the music at the time. They was just looking for commercial hits. I think at the time, it was like Tinchy Strider kind of times, remember?
Yeah.
Tinchy Strider and
Tinchy Strider.
I think Tiny Temple was kind of just coming through a little bit, but it was that kind of artist, remember? It was like very poppy, like hip hop, but poppy and grimy kind of pop. That was the artist, remember? So when we started saying there's going to be street artists coming out that's going to blow, they was like, they didn't understand it.
But that's evolvement, though. That's the industry evolvement. Because it has evolved. Esther, from then until now over the time frame. Would you not? What are your views on that? Because I think that it's evolved progressively, like in a positive direction in parts. But you've got, for example, the artists that you spoke about. You know, when people were approaching labels during your time, there was that part where they didn't get it and they couldn't see the direction. So sometimes the vision has to be put right in front of them for people to. It's just like they say, when someone's popping, that's when people want to know.
Exactly.
And what platform was you?
I think
was it You Channel or what was it?
When the first time, say 2004, it was Channel U came out, and then I'm not sure if MySpace came out first, then Channel U, or it was Channel U then MySpace. One of those. And MySpace was like Instagram was the biggest thing.
Was you on MySpace? Yeah, bare MySpace, innit?
Top friends, hear me?
You didn't have MySpace?
I had MySpace, but I come in there late.
Okay.
I did have MySpace though.
I think it was MySpace was popping. That was where everyone was going. That was the platform. And
what year was that?
I'm not sure. What year? I think 2005.
MySpace would have been
did
early.
YouTube come out 2005? I think YouTube came out 2005. I'm not sure. I think. But when YouTube came out, and I can't remember who told me about YouTube, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" I didn't know what was going on. I didn't. It took me a while to get.
MySpace was actually, believe it or not, 2003.
Yeah, I'm saying, but when everyone clocked on, it was around 2004. It's right. That's right.
Yeah,
everyone clocked in straight away.
YouTube as well. When YouTube first come, like from the DVD era to that, it took people a while to transition to YouTube. Like we didn't understand it, remember? Because it was DVDs. So when that YouTube thing come, like we didn't understand. Like, upload video. How do you upload a video? Like we didn't understand that transition alone. That transition from the kind of MySpace era to YouTube left a lot of man lost out because they didn't understand that transition. Yeah. From where the era was going from the CD, DVD over to online.
100%.
Digital.
Online. No one didn't
understand it. So a lot of artists got left out because they didn't understand that transition. Then that transitions, by the time they blinked, the people that did understand it were getting views and all that, and they was left out. By the time they come now, no one don't really know you as an artist now. There's a new scene coming in. And that's what happened. And the thing changed.
Did Channel U come after that?
The Channel U was before. Sure. I'm not sure Channel U or YouTube was around the same time. But the same time, Channel U kind of blew like the N-Dubs and all the kind of people, and you had those people on it. We was on Channel U as well. Couple people was on there, but everyone at the time was kind of going down a mainstream road. It wasn't really street. It was like, that you can't do certain things, you can't have that in the video, you can't do this, you can't say that, you can't say that. It was mad political. And then YouTube kind of gave everyone freedom. Freedom. You can say what you want. Man was filming on their estate, and man was like, raw. Because at first, we was kind of the one of the first ones to kind of film in the estate. Like, this in the estate with the man them and that. I know that estate. I know my man. I know where.
Freestyles. All of that.
So that kind of like got that was like that kind of vibe there. We kind of like were one of the pioneers of that kind of whole look.
Yeah, because was you on the news or you done a few series? Innit? You was on the news.
We done. I think one of our DVDs we done got on the news because it was a new thing. They was like, what's this new estate gang rap thing? How they talking about Joe now? They were talking about us like that as well.
The
exact same way.
I'm
saying to you, they were talking about us exactly the same as Joe. Like these wild guys, we're gonna lock them all up. That's what they were saying. That's what they said. They said we're gonna lock them all up. Some of them are Muslim, some of them are Christian, some of them are whatever. We're going to lock all of them up. And that was the thing. They were just going to lock us up. And when that kind of happened, the industry got scared. That's what we had to. We just had to deal with a lot of. People wasn't used to music, street music, and rap from the UK at that time. That's all it was. They didn't understand it. They didn't know that there was people like this on the estates. they didn't understand the whole scene, the culture. People got hoodies, they wear Moschino, Versace, they got Rolexes on, but how are they wearing Rolexes? They're from these poor estates.
But where do you think that
understand
changed though?
What do you think?
Where they got the understanding?
From YouTube.
Okay.
When YouTube came now, then they started watching, they had more to see. And then some of the labels started bringing in people like and making them more like mainstream. And they started understanding it a bit more. I'm saying to you. And then for the street music, I think what kind of took off the UK music on a big level in my point of view was gigs. When gigs came with Talking the Hardest, when that came out, that rocked the whole street
industry,
like,
everything.
That rocked the prison as well.
The jailers, everything.
That rocked
everything.
Everywhere. Like that, I was like, yes.
Yeah,
I was gassed.
Yeah.
I was gassed.
He kicked the door.
He kicked the door.
Without kicking it.
Yes.
He didn't even, that wasn't his aim, but he kicked the door right down.
Westwood started, because Westwood wasn't playing a lot of people. Then Westwood started endorsing gigs and playing him all the time. I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
And then gigs got his and saying he was mad. And just for that, people was clapping on the streets because, someone's, at first it was So Solid. Then it was like a gap. Then we had PDC, but everyone was like, nah, these are two gang.
Yeah.
Then gigs came through and it was like, hey, gigs can
just
go through.
before gigs, you had Colours as well.
Yes, you had a couple man coming through. Yes, I'm saying to you.
From Peckham, then you had gigs, and then gigs come and he.
But gigs came through a different level. Gigs stamped it. Bam. So the sound that we was all pushing, trying to get it to a certain place. Gigs came and kicked the door open. So it's like we created a door and then we was kicking it with the hinges. Then gigs went boom and
the door opened. Between that, you had Young Spray that had a few
he was the same.
Mad.
Young Spray was at the same time as PDC. So you had PDC, North Star, Mashtown, SMS, SAS. Yeah. We was all the same.
All the same around it. Yeah.
So it's like we was creating the door.
And
then we was kicking the door.
Yeah.
But then it's like gigs came and kicked off the hinges.
Yeah.
You feel me? And that's what I'm saying to you. So that's what it was. And I think like So Solid, even though there was garage, they kind of made people aware that there's a building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm saying to them, then now we went into that building, created doors in the building, and we tried to kick them open to go into the garden. And gigs come and licked off the whole garden. And now we're in the garden.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Now in the garden.
Yeah, so it was like a journey, you feel me?
Yeah.
That's what it is. So it's like everyone played a part.
The domino.
It's like a domino effect, you feel me? And then from that you had like, then loads more people started coming after that. You had like Joe Black and all the people from different AA sites, and it was building up. It started getting dope, and people, there was a lot of noise was making, and then the younger ones started coming through. Then you had like the Sneak Bowl era, and they had like the other new era. You got all these other guys coming through. They had 6, 7s, and now everyone starts going down the line. So everyone starts progressing. So I'm saying I hear a lot of people giving the young ones. Like a lot of like the drill, they're always dissing them like, the young ones this and the young ones that. I kind of understand, but I'm happy that there's a platform for them to be doing stuff, because a lot of them are doing well from it. A lot of them have gone to different countries. They're making money. They're doing stuff. Some of them are doing stuff. I'm saying to you, so I'm not fully with I know some of them are going a bit mad with it, but I understand at the same time, because I was getting that same energy when I was coming up.
I think that a lot of it as well is that people don't understand. There's a certain amount of people that don't understand that is their output. Yeah. That is their creative element. And I'm not saying that there are not drill artists that take the piss, because there are some that really do.
No, 100%.
But there's also some artists who they are being creative. You know, they are talking about things. Some of them talk about things that they haven't even done, but the culture's made them feel like they have to talk about that, because that's the only way they're going to be respected if they're a drill artist.
But I don't think it's the only way they're going to be respected. I feel like they're showing like that's how what's going on their day-to-day life in their community, whether it's them or not them, and they're expressing it in music, because they would rather express it in music than in real life. Yeah. So you're saying it's influencing people. Before there was drill, there was still people dying. There was murders still. 100%. So they can't just now use drills come in and this is why this is happening, because it's actually changing loads of people's lives. You've got loads of drill artists that's actually changed their life, that they can turn, do you know what I mean?
And I think as well with drill, what we got, I think especially the community and the industry and the culture, we tend to like blame little things like drill or fashion, or we just blame little things where I think it's our mentality and our social thinking it's a cultural thinking pattern that we need to change. You know, in our community in general, there's certain ways of thinking and certain things that we just need to change beforehand. It's not before the music. There's other things we need to change, and certain just the ways we act and think and our lifestyle. Certain things we need to do change. The family structures need to change. There's a lot of things that need to change before music. I think we tend to just blame the surface things instead of going deeper.
No, 100%.
And looking at the root causes, we just blame what we can see. Same to instead of going down to root causes. I think there's a lot of root causes that we need to change and look into. I'm saying to you, just there.
I just want to like rewind just a bit. I want people to know, like, because I don't feel like who is Jaja? Like who's Jaja Soze like from growing up? Like where are you from? Like obviously I know your like, I know a lot about your history, but like who are you, bro, as a person?
Me growing up, I'm originally from Birmingham, Handsworth. That's where I kind of grew up. That's where I'm from. So at the time in Birmingham, those days, I grew up in like the whole kind of Rasta revolutionary. I grew up very like that revolution was. That's what I grew up in. I just knew about my culture. I knew about who I am. Like Marcus Garvey. Like it was very very revolutionary how I grew up. I understood about the system, what was going on. I understood about politics from a young age. I understood about all that kind of stuff. And I grew up in the street surrounding from a young age. So I knew about the gun culture from young. Birmingham was active those days. So it was very active. It was more active than London at that time with the gun cult, the gun flex was serious down there. Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool was active. A lot of people don't know that. I think it was Liverpool had the docks and a lot of machines were coming through the docks them days, like back in the 80s, 70s and 80s. So there's a lot of machines down those kind of areas. So a lot of the big boys, they always had access to those things. So I kind of grew up early in that culture, but also, so it was very street, but also revolutionary. That's what kind of formed my character. I'm saying to you, I come to Brixton when I was like around 1990, I was around 10. And I went straight to like right in the belly of the beast. I'm saying to you, from Brum straight to Brixton, and everyone just talked to me straight away. I'm saying to you, and I got like, I just got in with the lads straight away, and I was with the lads.
Clearly, it speaks for itself.
Yeah, and then obviously Brixton, Brixton was like, when I first went to Brixton, it was just dope. It was very cultural, sound systems. There was like a big influence of there was also a big kind of like crew gang kind of culture. They had the Untouchables and the 28s, and I just grew up in that. I just took to that whole kind of scene straight away. And then that's that kind of like I went to Angeltown Estate, and a lot of predominant people were from Angeltown Estate. That's in Brixton. At the time in Brixton wasn't like how it is now. Brixton was like, so you had Angeltown, Mitesfield, Stockwell, Somerleyton, Tulse Hill, Brixton Hill, even Nord. That was Brixton, and Acre Lane. That was kind of Brixton. That was just Brixton. Those whole areas was kind of classed as Brixton. That was Brixton. One place. You could just literally get on your bike and just ride around that whole vicinity, and that's it. If you're a man, then you ride around. You just go to all the areas, and it was all together. It was like 2 men from that estate, 3 men from that estate, 4, 5, 6, 7. That made Brixton. That was Brixton. That's how it was. It was a dope place, and
dope.
It was
we used to come clean from East.
It was serious.
Every Friday. And we used to just bar hop. Saturday, Z bar. Then in the People Them's church till about 6 in the morning.
Brixton had that vibe. Brixton just had that vibe, and it was it always kind of had the street kind of element. And the sound system and street element was very predominant in Brixton. That's what kind of we've always had the music and the street. That's been Brixton. All the time. It's been like, cause like a revolutionary kind of music system and sound, and you got the street vibe. We've always had like the kind of gang culture, street culture in Brixton. It's a standard that's been there from a long time.
And that's what, do you feel like from moving from Brum to Brixton, do you feel like that's that whole music got you into music, or was there something one day it's like, yo, like this is
from I was in Brum, this music was because I was around the Rasta movement, just straight reggae was hard. I'm saying to you, I followed like NWA and Public Enemy from a young age, so I was very influenced by NWA and Public Enemy, like the whole crew thing that influenced me big. I'm saying to you, that was a big thing for me. Then also those days you had like in Jamaica had a shower posse, and then you had like those things. I was just like I was fascinated by the shower posse in Harlem, and bro, like that was I was fascinated by the whole like Black Panthers and revolutionary movements and street movements.
Sick.
That movement thing, I was just fascinated with. That was like that's my inspiration.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, wow, like, and they're fighting for a cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my thing. Like, raw, these people it's not just shooting each other, they're fighting for a cause.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was like, raw, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And that was just always in me. Like, I'm gonna fight for, I'm gonna do a cause. And I didn't know at the time that it was gonna be PDC or anything. I just knew that I'm gonna do a movement. And that's gonna be my direction in life.
Yeah.
That's the purpose, just to do fight for a cause and build something. Yeah, I'm saying to you, and change our circumstances. That was always my vision.
I've always, and even like up to this day now, like you're a person that you don't sit on the fence. You post when you post certain things on your Instagram. You know what I mean? And previous, I've mentioned the Wiley thing. You know what I mean? And I've seen that you. Do you know what I mean? You've always been. You're not one of that. You're not a follower.
You stand in your truth.
Stand in your truth.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've always been like that. I think everyone should. I think you should just be who you are. I always say to people, no matter what goes on, just be who you are. Be your true self. And I'm just me. I'm saying I think with me, because I've never like had to sign. Been tempted though. I've not had to sign deals or anything dodgy or nothing. I've always been able to be free, speak free, and write music that I can write about anything. I'm saying to you, because what a lot of people don't fail to realize in a lot of the music contracts, why I've never signed nothing. I've always been aware of it, because you can't talk about politics and all that. And when you sign certain contracts, you can't talk about politics, and it says in the contract, you can't talk about certain things.
That's who you are.
Yeah, and that's who I am. So I can't sign those contracts. I love talking about stuff like that. I'm just a rebel.
You're a revolutionist.
I like talking about random stuff and that. Like, so those contracts, I can't sign them, because it says in there you can't talk about politics and like racism and certain things. You can't really go into about those things. I'm saying to you, like, you have to keep it just musical and kind of like, I'm saying to you, but me, I need to talk about current stuff and like violations, whether it's in the world or whatever. I like talking about stuff like that.
You know what? Talking about current stuff. The other day, I don't know if it was the other day, maybe about a couple of weeks ago, on your Insta. Remember the post you put up about you spoke to one of your homeboys in jail?
Yeah.
And basically what the post was saying is that you spoke to one of his boys in jail, and how, you know, you go to jail and then you end up being next door with somebody who you may have been previously beefing with, etc. Talk to us a bit about that, because I think that evokes good discussion, because it's stemming from decisions and choices that we make in life.
But do you know what's mad? This what I always told people, no, see a lot of them, even it happened to me. So some of the people I didn't like back in the days, when I got to meet them in prison, I'm like, raw, my man just like me though.
Yeah.
Bro, that's mad. When I talk to him, I say, wait there, do you know that he's just like me? Like, we like the same things. Our attitude is exactly the same. I'm saying, wait there, nah, this is mad. And me and him become tight.
Yeah,
I'm saying to you, I've met people in prison that from like when I was in jail in like 97 and all that. That my friends now. Like, they're my friends right now. And then we at first we didn't like each other.
Have you had similar experiences?
100%.
I'm saying.
You see, that's how, and then you think, wow, from being in jail, like I used to war with you, and then it's
mad. I'm saying to you, and there's people like that. I got loads of family in prison, like doing 25s, 30s, like from Birmingham down here, like doing mad sentences, and they're in prison with people that they was in problems with, and they're brethren. They're cool. They're cool.
It makes you think like what's all that, like what we went through all this, and now like that. Do you know what I mean?
And that's when you realize you're fighting for no reason. Because when you go back and look at the arguments, you're like, why was we even beefing? And when you look back at it, it's like, right, is it really because you're over there and I'm over here?
A pavement that doesn't belong to you.
That doesn't belong to us. Like, it's mad. And then when do you know what it was? One time, one of my family members had a mad beef, like people shooting on each side, whatever. When they found out about the actual argument, do you know it was one of their elders had an argument over a woman, and the woman was from a brothel, you know. Like,
it's crazy.
Are you mad? Like, it wasn't even nothing deep. Like, your elders that didn't tell you the story properly were fighting over, like, basically a prostitute.
Yeah.
And mad. Imagine that. And then that carried on over the years, and people died on both sides because the elders were beefing over a prostitute. That is mental. Yeah. Imagine that. And people are in jail doing like 30 years, 25 years, and don't even know that they're beefing because these guys were arguing over a prostitute. I'm saying to you. So there's arguing with someone what the prostitute bareback. And that's how they was arguing. I didn't walk her bareback, you idiot. We're telling man that for.
That turned into a whole thing.
That turned into a whole war.
And people end up in sentences and losing lives.
So those things there, that's what a lot of the youths now are doing similar stuff where they don't even know why they're arguing.
They don't know why they're arguing. And it's now I look, obviously we come from an era where there was no social media.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's a lot of filming, violating, doing this and that. And then when you look down at it, they don't even know why they don't talk.
Yeah, this is a mad time, and I think, and also what I also think is very important is like a lot of. I always hear elders, some elders always sound bitter and they sound angry. Oh, my days, I was like this and this wouldn't happen. But I don't really like it when people talk like that, because it is now, we done certain things and we created certain avenues that was negative as well. I'm saying to you, certain mindsets that was negative as well.
Yeah.
It hasn't just come out of nowhere. Like the youth today, it's not, they didn't just wake up one day and start saying, no, we're going to be. There has been things that have been embedded in them, the thought process, whether that be from the school, whether that be from the home, whether that be from family members, friends, whatever, whether that be hardship, seeing their mum and dad. Like, I know people when they were younger, their mum used to have to steal with them in the pram. Like when I was like 2 years old, do you understand what I mean? Because it was survival of the fittest to be able to feed your kids. But some people, they just look at it now and their view is, these youths are just bad. They're doing this because they want to. Some of it's survival.
I think a lot of the old generation don't like taking responsibility. I think that's a big factor in what the youths are doing. A lot of the youths are running around from things that they saw us doing.
Yeah,
they saw people like myself even saying certain things and doing certain things, and they followed suit. Yeah. I'm saying to you, then you're gonna have someone like myself moaning, saying, "Oh, the youths are bad." You can't do that. It's better we just say, you know what, we contributed, but here what, we're gonna contribute positive as well now. I'm saying 100%. There you go. I'm saying, so it's about us also building platforms that we can also help. Saying you can't save everyone, but you can help some. You get me? Yeah. And I think a lot of the elders and the older generation need to take more responsibility and say, you know what, we did contribute and help build certain mindsets and certain fuckeries that's out there now.
We did contribute. I agree. And it's for, do you know what it is as well? Obviously, you're older to me, and it's for like someone like myself to collab with you and work on a project together.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? We need to do that because where we've got the reach now, we've got social media, so we need to do things like that to like guide the youth. Do you know what I mean? It's very important, and like this is like I was gassed about this podcast getting you on here because man can finally connect. And I was like, okay, what can we do together?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you said that you've got like, I know you've got a few off camera. We spoke. You've got a few projects and that like going. So just let us like tell us what you've got going, man.
So what? Obviously, I got the Brixton Recording Studios.
Yeah.
That was that's something that I always wanted to do. That was the studio that we used to go to when we was younger. Yeah. And I always said, no, I want to take the studio over. I want to have the studio.
I remember when you said it, and then I came. Do you remember? I came to the studio. I don't know how many years ago. It could have been. It was about 8-9 years ago. And then when I went in the studio, I remember previously when he was like, I want to take the studio over. And I went in there, the red self, and he did it. Like you said you was going to do it. You did it. You did it.
So I always said I went to that studio, that Pacific one. You get me? I was saying, well, this is in Angeltown and it's in Brixton and this is where our foundation. So if we could have this and help and mentor some young people and also give people a platform they can come into, a safe space for them to elevate, then that's what he does. So I've done Brixton Recording Studios. That's doing really well.
Sick.
I got another charity, not-for-profit company called Indigo Youth. Okay. So we do like mentoring. I've helped a lot of kids into university. I do a lot of stuff in the background. Not all people that just jump up yelling about it. So I help a lot of people. I've helped some artists as well, like financially, and I've done things in the background. So I do a lot of stuff like that with Indigo Youth. Take people abroad. I've done like things in Africa. We're doing a project in Jamaica. Got some things I'm trying to work on right now. So we're doing a lot of stuff like that. Do a lot of work with Arts Council and stuff like that. So that's with Indigo Youth.
That's dope. Where can you find so, on both of them?
Indigo Youth, they can go on www.indigoyouth.com.
Yeah.
And Brixton Recording Studios, www.brixtonrecordingstudios.com. And say to you, they can get all the stuff and
was that is that for like people in England, but is it for like you have to be from Lambeth or like how does it work?
So for Indigo Youth, we work with like people from everywhere. Like that's the youths from all over Birmingham, Manchester. Like we just work with youths in general, whatever sometimes I do projects in those specific areas.
Yeah.
Or I might not be doing the project. I might set it up and then someone else might run it for me.
Yeah.
So I've got people that do projects in universities, in colleges, in schools,
Mm-hmm.
but I might not be there. Some people have probably done projects and not even know it's my project.
Okay.
People have probably been to courses and done stuff and don't even know that's Jaja's project. I'm not even there.
Yeah.
I'm saying to you, but I've done a lot of stuff, and I've done like a lot of film producing courses, development projects, but I'm not there.
Yeah.
So they don't know that's me doing it. I'm saying to you, but yeah, it's all love. I don't do it for that. I do it so they can help them. Yeah,
and
so
that's
I do
important
like
as
that.
well. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, today, through society and how things are, everybody feels like if you're doing something, it has to be shown. And if you don't show it, it means you're not doing it. And that couldn't be further from the truth, because the people that are doing positive stuff, but they're not putting it out there on the Insta, because at the end of the day, they're just getting on with their hustle. They're just getting on with their grind.
I think, do you know what it is as well? One thing that always gets me mad, and it's just in the industry in general, and everyone talks like they're just always winning. And what I say to young people, like, it's mad. I've taken some mad losses, mad losses. Like I told people, like, bro, I've seen my bank account, I've seen like 100 grand in my bank account, then go to like £60.
Yeah.
And I'm just in my house sitting there, like, my head's spinning,
I'd cry.
doing numbers.
Yeah.
I'm just like, raw, I ain't gonna bounce back from that.
Yeah.
And my head's just spinning. And that's happened to me on a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
I've had to learn the hard way, like, 3 times. So, see, when I'm telling the youths, like, what? I'm like, listen, I've seen my bank account and I've been smiling on holiday. Then a couple months later, I've done some dodgy deals in that I thought was gonna go good. And I got like £80.
Yeah.
I'm saying to man, raw, how am I gonna make this back from £80?
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying to you,
Crazy.
I've been in that situation like 3-4 times. I'm saying to you, serious like losses. And when people see like my companies and things I'm doing, they always think, oh, that's dope. But I'm saying, fam, if you know the backstory to that.
If you know the backstory.
It's not the backstory.
And you know what? It's true, because I think on a day-to-day basis, like, people will see, like, even yourself, Bouncer, people will see, you know, on Instagram, the little man or whatever the case may be. People have no idea the backstory behind all the work that people have to put in just to put that product in front of them. You know, I went onto Instagram the other day and I went onto your page and I got all excited. I was thinking, oh my God, Jaja's written a book about Valentine's, about relationships. I was like, wow, this is, I saw it and I was like, the power of love. This is sick. I was like, we're going to see a different side. Because remember in the beginning, I was like, he's a rude boy. So went onto it, but it was totally the opposite of what I thought it was. Tell us a bit about power of love.
So what is the power of love? And that's what everyone thinks when they say that, because what is, we grew up in a place and love is just like Valentine's and it's like lovey-dovey and all that. And because of that, we don't tap into it, especially the man them, because we don't understand it. It's kind of like, oh, that's fruity. Man don't care about love and all that. Yeah. So I had to speak about it on a different level. Like, right, forget Valentine's, put that to the side and all the romantic stuff. Love as an energy is powerful. It's an energy. So when you tap into that, it changes your whole way of thinking. I'm saying to you, and that's what it is, looking at love from different angles. Yeah. I'm saying to you, I think
You're hearing this, guys.
We have a lot of, because of the lack of it, we deal with, especially women and our children and our families, and even on the streets, we deal with each other badly because of the lack of love and the understanding of it. I'm saying to you, if I deal with you from a love perspective, I'm approaching you a whole different level. Yeah. So if I chat to bounce, I'm dealing from a love angle, our conversation is different. Yeah. If I come from a low frequency level of anger or hate now, we're going to get a different vibe. He's going to be thinking, wow, man, he's talking a bit like kind of aggressive, kind of like something's there. And that's what happens to us, because there's no love energy in it. We don't understand about the frequencies. I'm saying to you, so the book kind of tackles love from a different angle. I'm saying to you, and I'll give street examples. I'm saying to you of hate and snakes, and there's loads of stuff that happens in the hood. You could be a man growing up all your life, and then you're doing good, and slyly he's hating and he's plotting your downfall.
Evil eye.
He's plotting to rob you, plotting to walk your girl. He's plotting to sleep your baby mother. It's savage. This is how
no love.
This is how it is out here. Like people around you are always competing. I'm saying to you, and it's because of the lack of love, because there's no love in it, it turns competition. I'm saying to you, so you could be doing good, and your brother's like, oh, he's got a new t-shirt on today. No, I couldn't get me a t-shirt. Or got new trainers. I'm trying to buy me a new trainers. And that's what they're thinking. You're thinking, you're bringing them in. You're thinking, well, come, let's go get dinner and that. But they're thinking, what? He's always got money to bring me to dinner. It's mad. They're like, what about taking you to dinner, fam? But they're what they're thinking, what? How come you always got money to take me to dinner?
Yeah.
So they're not saying,
you're not bringing me in. You're not doing that, but little that no man's working hard.
They're working hard. I'm saying to you,
your brain might not even be ready. Like
exactly.
You see, with me and some of my friends as well. Before I help them, I'll watch how they move.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I'll help them a little bit, and then as soon as it's like they'll have a sick idea and give it a week, they've forgotten about it.
Straight.
So it's like, where's the this? Like with this podcast, it might take 2 years for this podcast to really kick in. Do you know what I mean? But I'm ready to grind.
They want fast work,
They
fast
want it
results.
to happen overnight. It's like music now. They watch everyone's views, so they think, I'm going to drop this one song and it's going to get 1 million views.
Exactly.
But they don't know, like, you might need to drop 15, 20 music videos and then just to get that 100,000 views.
Exactly. That's what it is. I think it's just understanding value.
Yep.
A lot of the young people, just people in general, they don't understand value.
Yeah.
I'm saying to you, that's what it is. They just want things now. They don't understand nothing. They don't understand hard grinding.
They don't want to work. They don't want to, a lot of people as well, they don't want to be on that journey with you. So like, I know a lot of people, you know, people say, oh, Esther, you know, what have you, you're doing really good now, etc. And then I notice that people start gravitating a bit more towards me, but I know that that is merely about, they've seen that I'm in a space. Little do they know, I've got a long way to climb for my own goals. But when they're looking out, they don't want to do no work. So as far as they're concerned, they want to jump on for the ride. Yeah. And I think that's the problem with friends. They see yourselves in certain positions, and then that's when they have that good idea. But before that, they didn't want to hear about your struggle. Oh, this person's always working. Oh, Bouncer's always getting studio. Oh, Jaja's always in the studio. They're not understanding the work that you've got to put in to be able to be the person that's out there. Where can we get the book?
What's it called?
The book's called
Power of Love.
Power of Love, my personal notes. The way I wrote it, I wrote it very, people's messaged me saying, "Well, it's written like very, it's like raw." And I said, "Yeah, it's my personal notes." So I wrote it so it's easy reading. I wrote it for I want it to get. I want to do a project. So I want to put it into the prisons. I want it to be I want young youths to be able to read it. That's why I done it kind of easy reading. You feel me? So some man don't really. It's a short book as well. Some man don't really like the big read, the long reading. So I've done it very short and to the point. So the man can read it and it's like, okay, I get it. That's it. Straight. I'm saying to you. So it's available on Amazon, Audible, all Barnes and Noble, www.jajasoze.com. And all the sites, all the places.
Sick. What message would you bring out? So what message would you bring out to the youth now, like that wants to be that wants to be an artist, that wants to be a manager, that wants to be in the industry, and there's no way, they have no lead, there's no they have no contacts, they don't have no influence to help them. What would you say to them?
So I say to a lot of the, especially young people, I have to say just keep building your brand and just don't. It's not easy. I always use this. I try to use it all the time, but to road use, I use it. It's like shotting. Yeah. So it's like raw. When you have a shotting line, we don't know. Like when you have your drug phone or whatever, if you have one, when you're building up, you're getting a cat tonight. It's slow at first. You get like 1 cat, 2 cat, and then you start selling drugs. It gets higher and higher and higher. That's how the music game is. 100%. Everything's the same thing. It's just, there's no business is different. The business is the same formula. You have to. It's like you're gonna sell 1 CD. It's gonna be slow at first. Go 2 CD, 3 CD, it's going to spread, 4 CD. Next time you go out, you're going to send 10. Next time you go out, you're going to send 20, because now they know the guy with the CDs. By the time you go for a year, they're going to know, they're going to be driving your van, it's going to sell out. You're going to
be the man.
100%.
Yeah, so it's that same formula they need to understand. It's not raw, make my CD go out there and sell 10,000 and no one knows me. It doesn't work like that.
100%.
And that's what they need to understand, that it's a grind. I'm saying to you, and you got to keep grinding regardless. You got to be prepared for like, right, no, this is going to take like 3 to 4 years. And it might take 10 years. Yeah. I'm saying to you, it could take 10 years. Yeah. I'm saying to you, it could take longer than that. You got to be ready to go down that journey and that road.
100%.
And if you're not ready to go down that journey, you don't deserve it. I'm saying to you, anything you're not willing to put in like that and willing to say, no, I'm going to build this and when it takes 5 or 10 years and set goals, if you're not going to be doing that, then you don't deserve it, because you got to set goals and you got to work towards them and put the work in to achieve something. That's what that is. And
just to say, because obviously, you know, where you said it before, just so everyone knows, it's a metaphor that was used. Yeah. You know, we're not saying that. We're not encouraging anybody to go on the road. It's a metaphor that's used just to say it's the same kind of, you know, you're using the same value in that if you're going to build a business, whether it be within the music industry or any other way, it's about getting out there and making yourself known. It's not about selling drugs. You get me? I'm saying, I'm just giving that example. Example. Whether it's cars, CDs, makeup, that's hair. The metaphor. I'm saying to you, build it up.
And even for the past couple of weeks, I don't even know if I've mentioned this in my podcast, but guys, you need to be mindful when we're out here. We're on the roads. I know people make mistakes, they get arrested, we go to prison, whatnot. what I'm suffering from at the moment is because I got a criminal record and my case is on the internet, I can't open up a bank account. So I can't open up a business account just like that. Every time I've had a business account for 3 years and they've locked it off 3 times. Yeah. And what's happened is I had to stand down as a director, make my mum a director, and obviously I'm the majority shareholder. Yeah. They still locked it down, froze my account. And then now a couple of weeks ago, they locked off my Metro account and they don't have to give. They don't have to give it just under thingy. But what it is every time I apply for business accounts, my name flags up cash in transit robbery. So my old stuff what I done 10 years ago, like they're just going on that. So they're not looking on all the good stuff that I've done.
Is it actually still in the 10-year? That's probably why. Is it 10 years ago or in the 10 years?
It's in the it is 2000 and so it happened 2012.
Okay, so
but I got convicted for it 2016 or 14 or something. But, but this is happening. So what's happening now is
that's 6 years ago.
6 years. It's only 6 years ago.
When it's time to like progress, buy property, whatnot, I need to build up my credit. But now it's a catch-22 because every time I open up an account, they will open it for a month and then they shut it down. And this is the reason why. And me saying that is as well as when you're young, the first thing that you do is you get a phone contract out.
%.
It's very important that you pay your bills on time because if you mess up your phone bills,
that's where it starts.
You rinse out your phone, you have bad credit. And then when you become like 25, 26, and you're trying to progress by a property, this is what's coming up to bite. And they don't teach this in school as much. So it's very important that we talk on this and we just say like, guys, like be mindful, just be mindful, innit?
Yeah, because I think as well, guys and girls, because even me as a female, like I can openly admit and sit here and say, my phone contract was one of the first that I got when it was T-Mobile. And I never used to pay my bill. I used to think whatever. And I do think that we don't realise that if we're not taught that, because I weren't taught that, unfortunately, at the time, my parents were somewhat, not the same, but they were like, oh, if you don't want to pay it, don't pay it kind of thing. I wasn't encouraged to make sure that I built credit then. It took me a very, very long time. I'm going to say it took me about 8 years to build my credit to get to where I am now. And it's not even the greatest, but they never taught me about Equifax in school. They never taught me about a credit check. They never told me what a footprint is. So I think that for a lot of people that are aspiring to do anything, whether it be in the industry or anywhere else, you have to be mindful of credit because you are going to need it. No matter what happens, you are going to need credit in some capacity. And I think that not having credit affects you more when you're trying to open a business.
Yeah.
That's why it's important that's what I was saying earlier on, for like some of the elders that understand that, to be reaching back out to the young people and showing them these things. So I didn't know that even when I was coming up. I just saw my credit the other day. Like literally, I was messed. I done. I rinsed my team. My team was messed. It took me like
It takes years.
It took me like 12 years.
It takes
to
years.
clean my credit up, 12 years. 12 years. But my mum was on a mad one. I didn't know. Back then, we didn't get told nothing about
and
credit.
They used to give you credit when you had bad credit back then. Do you know what I mean? Because I had catalogue. Remember catalogue? When you see, I had a catalogue. I had a phone. I had so much things I got on credit when I was like 18.
But they stopped saying. And then what we missed out as well, especially in our days, they was giving out like mortgages for like people was getting like 30 grand buying their house for 30 bags, 50 bags. And we didn't know. We all missed out on it because we didn't know about the financial world, and we didn't know
Council
about
property right to buy. If your mum was in there for 10 years, she'd get the maximum discount.
People buying their council house mum's one for 50 bags.
50 bags.
Wow.
Back then, 50 bags, bruv. Like
crazy.
It's mockery.
Probably about $750 now.
Yeah, we didn't know. We just didn't know about those. A lot of people didn't know. I'm saying to you, a lot of people didn't know about all that stuff. So it's very important that we kind of educate ourselves and teach about the financial kind of system and the educational system and property and land and certain things. I'm saying to you, intellectual property, you understand?
100%. And before we wrap this up, I saw something on your story You went on a little rant today, Esther. So
Yeah,
what was you
I
ranting
did.
about?
No, I did. You know-
Before we go,
All right, before we go, you know what it is? I'm sorry. I feel like this one's warranted because I can admit that I rant a lot.
yeah.
But I just felt today there was mad energy on Instagram for Cardi and Offset's divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So much people were posting it in their stories. You know, it was like, what's your thoughts on this? Everyone was talking about it. And obviously, I know that, you know, there's entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
But I just kind of felt like, I think we need to have the same energy for our friends' businesses, our friends' platforms, our kids achieving positive platforms, your friend's lashes company, your friend's footwear company.
Yeah.
We don't have that same energy. I saw, even like being on the podcast, people don't repost it. And that is okay, because at the end of the day, this podcast might not even be their thing. But the point I'm trying to make to you is that people seem to be able to deal with a stranger's stuff and put that out there more than their own.
It's always been like
And
that.
for some reason, that bothers me.
No, I hear you.
And it's not because it's not because you don't have to support people by force, you know, Jaja, as well. Like, I might not like your brand, so I'm not going to post it.
Yeah.
But then I'm the kind of person, I might not like it, but you're my peoples, you're trying to ting, so I'm going to pull it up.
No, I hear you. But I feel like maybe I do follow a few blog pages, but I do have them on mute. I have a lot of them on mute. But you two, you shouldn't even be bothered about that. You should just, I'm doing this. Like, you shouldn't let that get you in your feelings. Even though, because this is what the internet is. This is what, like, it's clickbait, innit? You message, you put something down, and what's happening is clickbait.
Yes.
One thing that I have seen, and because obviously I'm
Can I just say, it might not be blog pages, or I'm talking about if you've got a story and it's your people.
No, I hear
do you see what I mean?
But one thing I will say is Liquorman's fight.
Okay.
The amount of support people like are supporting. So I can say, like, his fight, there's loads of support. Do you know what I mean? There's like, it's amazing to see me looking and seeing people just getting behind Liquorman and his fight. So I would just say that Offset thing, what Cardi B is, it's a big, like, that they're role models in it, in a lot of people's eyes, in it. So
they are.
So them going for a divorce is like raw, like a lot of, like, the UK follow America a lot in it with things. So,
but do you think that? So do you feel that because they are role models and they are Americans, that justifies, for example, not supporting businesses?
But no one knows support. Like, see me, I support people. I would throw up their thing without them even asking me, but I can't do it for the whole world. But what I'm trying to say to you is, they don't support my, like, it's like it's not tit for tat, but it's a vicious circle, innit? It's a vicious circle. What's man meant to do? But to support everyone, and then no one. I go through it all the time, Esther. We do podcasts all the time. I have people, before they even greet me, they think they can just send this to me, like, put this up, like I'm like, and I get ignorant, and I think, right, am I your worker?
You can't just do that.
I forgot I was an idiot. Like, bro, I'm just gonna put it up. Do you know what I mean? And they don't realize what they're doing. So when I message, I'm like, bro, like, no, how are you?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Oh, you mean in your DM?
Man, disrespectful. That, and I have to check, man. Like, bro, like, don't. Do you know what I mean? What's your views on this, Judge?
I think it's always that internet thing has always been like that. People it's never changed from even the music scene. Like, you see them posting up like someone's new video than the UK artists. They'll throw up like who else, like, I don't know, who, American artist that's popping. They will all go mad for him, and then your local artist that's doing good, no one spits to them.
And I think that's it. And even though it, you know what it is, it's topic for discussion, as I said, because it is happening and it does happen. But it's just something that when I saw it today, it crossed my mind.
And you know what I mean? Yeah, there's a lot of the especially the blogger scene and that kind of scene. A lot of them are like groupie kind of fans and that of that's the American fans. Just the fans in it, so they're more. They don't. I think UK especially, we don't like respect our own, and we don't like show ratings even to like the new school and the old school. We don't show, like, see, Americans, they will like big up their old school ones and the people that set pace, and that UK is like, whatever, man, you like had your time. Or this young person is a drill artist, man. He's a madman. We're not
Yeah.
gonna rate. We don't really. We always got a reason why to put people down. It's just a UK thing. It's a London thing.
Well, yeah, I think that wraps up my rant for the day. It's a London thing.
It's a London thing.
That happens, most definitely. But yeah, I personally feel, for me as an individual, I just like it's just that I like to see people supporting people, you know, and I just think that there could be more of it, and I think we need to push more for it, and that's the point I'm trying to make.
100%.
Let's support. United we stand.
Exactly.
What's the rest of it?
Divided we fall. Divided we
we
fall.
fall. Back. So your mum's gonna tell you off again. Yeah. You know. Your mum's gonna throw. Yeah.
I didn't even
No.
Don't mention it. Don't bring that up again. Do not bring that up.
Can I just ask you though, Banter? Have you done your homework on Windrush?
Yeah, I done my homework. My mum beat me to do my homework.
Yeah.
Don't ever embarrass me. Anyway. Thank you guys.
Yeah, Jaja, thank you. Dope. Thank you.
Guys, make sure you like,
subscribe, and we'll see you next week on another episode of Music, Lifestyle, and Culture.
Bye.
Boom.